My name is Elena Vargas and I am 31 years old. My parents invited me to dinner to make amends after 3 years without contact. The message arrived one Tuesday night just as I was closing my laptop after a horrible day at the office. My mother wrote exactly these words. Your father and I believe it is time to leave the past behind. Let us have dinner together. Just us. I stared at the screen for several minutes because they never asked for forgiveness. Never. In my family, problems were buried under fake smiles and expensive dinners. If someone was suffering, it was expected they endure it in silence. And I had spent years refusing to do so. For 3 entire years I ignored birthdays, calls and family gatherings. After what they did with my grandmother's inheritance, I decided to disappear from their lives. My brother Alejandro Castillo called me selfish. My aunt Isabella said I was punishing the family. My father Don Javier Castillo called me ungrateful before hanging up on me. None of them asked how I was. None wanted to listen to my version. They only wanted me to accept everything and keep smiling. But that message left me thinking all week. Part of me wanted to believe they had changed. Perhaps it was age, perhaps guilt, or perhaps they were simply tired of pretending I did not exist. So on Friday I accepted. My mother responded almost immediately with the restaurant name and time. Saturday at 8 o'clock in the evening. The restaurant was one of the most expensive in the city. Warm lights, soft music, crystal glasses everywhere. As soon as I walked through the entrance I felt something was wrong. There was too much noise, too many familiar voices. Then I saw them. My entire family was there. My heart literally stopped. 16 people. My father raised his hand smiling as if nothing had happened. My mother opened her arms exaggeratedly. Alejandro Castillo was sitting next to his wife laughing while drinking wine. Even my cousins were there. They had set a trap for me. For a second I thought about turning around and leaving, but everyone was already looking at me. Some faces showed discomfort, others seemed to enjoy the show. Elena, shouted my mother. We knew you would come. I did not answer. I approached the table slowly, trying to control the rage rising in my chest. My father stood up and patted me on the shoulder as if we were a happy family. This was a surprise, he said smiling. We wanted to gather everyone. It was a lie. They never did anything without a reason. I looked at the table and understood immediately what was happening. There were lobster plates everywhere. Bottles of wine opened. Oysters, champagne. One of my cousins was photographing the food for Instagram while another ordered another bottle. The bill was going to be enormous. I sat down slowly without taking my eyes off them. The conversation continued as if I had never disappeared for 3 years. My aunt asked about my job. My mother pretended interest in my apartment. Alejandro spoke about investments and new cars. Everything was fake. Then the real game began. Do you remember when you were little and loved family gatherings? Asked my mother. I did not respond. You have always been very sensitive, added my aunt Isabella while cutting her steak. There it was. The little stabs disguised as normal conversation. My father ordered another bottle of wine without even looking at the price. The waiter opened it in front of everyone while Alejandro burst into laughter. This costs more than my first car, he joked. Everyone laughed. I kept watching. When the waiter left the bottle I clearly saw the label. $400. I felt something icy running through my body. Then I remembered something important. My father knew perfectly well how much I earned. Now, after years of effort, I had finally secured an important executive position. The last time we spoke, Alejandro had researched my professional profile and surely told everyone. This was not a reconciliation dinner. It was a dinner to use me. For nearly 2 hours I watched them order more and more food. Extra lobster, imported Wagyu, expensive desserts, aged whiskey. No one looked at the prices, no one asked questions. My mother even said, today there is no need to worry about the money. And everyone laughed again. I already knew why. Then the moment came. The waiter appeared discreetly with the black folder containing the bill. My father did not even touch it, he just smiled and slowly pushed it toward me. You pay, right? The table fell silent. 16 people staring at me, waiting. My mother crossed her hands with a fake smile. After all, you are the one earning the best now. Alejandro let out a short laugh. Besides, you disappeared for 3 years. Consider it family compensation. I felt my blood boiling. They were not even ashamed. They had planned this from the beginning. I slowly opened the folder. The bill exceeded $4,000. For an instant I imagined standing up and shouting everything I had kept inside for years. I wanted to remind them how they manipulated my sick grandmother, how they falsified promises, how they made me look like the villain when I refused to sign suspicious documents. But then something better happened, something much better. I took a deep breath and smiled. My father looked confused. What is so funny? I closed the folder calmly and raised my hand, calling the waiter. The man approached quickly. I leaned toward him and whispered 2 phrases in his ear. The waiter looked at me surprised. Then he nodded slowly and walked away without a word. 15 minutes later my family stopped smiling. The first minutes after the waiter left were strangely calm. My family kept talking and laughing, unaware of what was happening behind them. My mother continued telling false stories about how difficult the years without me had been. Alejandro kept drinking wine as if celebrating emptying my wallet, and my father had that arrogant smile he always wore when he thought he had one. I simply observed. 15 minutes later the restaurant manager appeared, accompanied by 2 more employees. He walked straight to our table with a serious expression. "Good evening," he said politely. "We need to resolve a problem with the payment." My father smiled, pointing at me. "She pays." The manager did not look at me, he looked at my father. "Sir, the reservation for this table was made under your name, your phone number, and your card registered as guarantee." The smile disappeared slowly from my father's face. "What?" The manager remained calm. "The young lady informed me that she did not authorize any charges and that she was invited tonight as just another guest. According to our policies, the responsible person is the one who made the reservation." The entire table froze. My mother looked at me horrified. "Elena, what did you do?" I slowly crossed my arms. "Nothing, I just clarified that I did not organize this dinner." Alejandro let out a nervous laugh. "Dad, pay and get it over with." But my father remained motionless, staring at the bill. The waiter discreetly placed the receipt in front of him. I saw his face change color because he was not expecting to pay. He had not even brought a card with enough balance. My mother tried to intervene quickly. "This is ridiculous. We are family." "Exactly," I responded. "And you decided to invite me to humiliate me in front of everyone." No one spoke. For the first time in years, none of them had a prepared answer. The manager kept waiting. My father finally took out his wallet and handed over a black card, trying to maintain dignity. The manager took it and walked to the terminal. 1 minute later he returned. "I am sorry, sir. Payment declined." The entire table fell into absolute silence. I could literally hear cutlery clinking at other tables in the restaurant. Alejandro leaned forward. "What do you mean declined?" The manager maintained his composure. "The transaction was not approved." My father started sweating. My mother opened her eyes wide. "Try again," she said quickly. The manager tried again. Declined again. Alejandro began cursing under his breath. My aunt Isabella pretended to check her phone to avoid looking at anyone. My cousins immediately stopped recording videos and taking photos. Then I understood something wonderful. They really thought I would accept everything in silence. As always, my father finally looked at me. "Elena, do not do this." I laughed for the first time all night. "Do what?" "Refuse to pay for the dinner you organized to manipulate me." "It was just a joke," said my mother desperately. "A joke of $4,000. No one responded. The manager cleared his throat. "We can divide the bill among the attendees if necessary." And that is when the chaos began. Alejandro was the first to explode. "Why should I pay? I did not order the most expensive bottle." My aunt Isabella raised her voice immediately. "Well, we did not order Wagyu for the whole table either." One of my cousins pointed at Alejandro. "You ordered 2 extra dishes." My mother tried to calm them. "Please, people are looking at us." But it was too late. Several tables were watching the spectacle discreetly. Even some employees were trying to hide their laughter. My father kept looking at me as if he still expected me to give in. Then he said something that destroyed any possibility of reconciliation. "After all the money we spent raising you, are you really going to leave us like this?" I felt a mix of rage and relief because I finally understood. They never wanted me back, they only wanted access to what I had. Money, stability, success, nothing more. I stood up slowly from my chair. The entire table watched me. "You know what was the worst part of losing this family?" I asked, looking at each one of them. Thinking for years that perhaps I was the bad person, but tonight you did me a favor. My mother had tears in her eyes. "Elena. No, listen to me well. You did not miss me. You missed what you could get from me." No one spoke. I picked up my purse calmly. 3 years without contact gave me more peace than my entire life with you. And then something unexpected happened. The manager approached again. Sir, we need to resolve the payment right now or we will have to call security. Alejandro completely exploded. This is your fault, he shouted at my father. Not mine, he responded, standing up. You ordered half the food. My mother started to cry. My cousins argued among themselves. It was a total disaster. And I no longer felt anything. No guilt, no sadness, no fear, just peace. I turned around and walked toward the exit while behind me my family continued destroying itself over a bill they had planned to charge me from the beginning. Before leaving, I heard my father shout my name. I did not stop because some doors, when they finally close, must remain closed forever. And that night I understood that losing a fake family was not a tragedy, it was freedom. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.